Hi, everybody. This is Steve Bear from Your Oil Tools, and we are here today with Michelle Tease. She is a platinum. Michelle, now you're on your way to diamond, right?
That's the plan.
Okay.
Pushing
And
hard.
Angela was saying that maybe by convention, but
I'm
well,
hoping. We're working. We're working on it.
awesome. Well, Michelle was going to give a presentation for us at an event that we had planned that we were doing that we did in Long Beach. But unfortunately, fortunately for her, her house sold really fast, and she moved across the country from Southern California to South Carolina. So she still gets to keep the SC,
Yeah, very true.
the SoCare. You're in
Yeah.
SoCare instead of SoCal. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I've seen Michelle Tees speak on maximizing LRP orders, and she's just done a great job of creating a community within her customer base. And so I just wanted to invite her in to do this awesome presentation, and then provide that for people to take a look at as an extra bonus for training, for attending any of the trainings that they have done with us at Your Oil Tools. So Michelle, with that, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to mute all the other participants, including myself. But if you want participation or whatever, just tell us to unmute ourselves, and
Perfect.
we'll do that. All right, so ready, set, go.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I always love teaching. Teaching is actually my passion. It was my first career. I was a first grade teacher for 10 years. And I love sharing everything that we do that is working, as much as I love learning from other people. So this is actually, just to give you a little bit of a background, my team actually has a really large percentage of people on LRP. And it got my diamond, well now they're blue diamonds, leader's attention a while back, and she kind of said, she's like, well, what are you doing? And at that point, I didn't really think of it as being anything different or unique. I'm like, we're just sharing LRP because why would you not get everybody on LRP? I'm like, this is like the heart of the business, and this is the best way to buy oils. But just through our training and just through what I've done with my team, we have just figured, we've kind of got this down pat of a way to really go in and get people on LRP, get them to stay on LRP, and get their orders to remain kind of high. So here is a little bit about what we do. First of all, I like to always explain to my business, my business builders, as all of you know, the LRP orders are really the heart of your business. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to enroll every single month, 10 or 20 people. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, I'm not a high enroller person. I shouldn't say can't. It's just not my strength. My strength is connecting with people and building relationships. So I have built a business to platinum on my way to diamond, and we actually have a pretty low number of people on our team, but extremely high volume because of the way we get people on LRP and are able to keep them on LRP. So if you can kind of take away some of these tips, it'll do so good for your business. So as I said, we're going to go over 3 things today. How do we get people started on LRP? How do we keep people on LRP? And how do we get them to maintain their high orders? Because doesn't it just make you cringe when they put in their, 95 PV orders? You're like, ah. So we really need to get them to understand the value of getting it at 125 because you want that product of the month and whatnot. So, basically, education is the key. And I'm sure you've heard it before, and I feel like people really underestimate, though, how important this is. And coming from a teacher's background, it probably was just something that came very natural to me. Is I'm like, you have to teach these people. And you have to teach them over and over and over. Because let's put yourself back to your very first class. And I know for some of you, that may be, a few years ago. But when you were sitting there in your very first class, it's overwhelming. This is a whole new concept of healthcare that we are putting out at these people. It's completely different than what they're used to hearing. And there's a lot. This oil can be used for bringing down fevers or for I should say, for cooling your body temperature. It can be used for digestive issues. It can be used for head tension. I mean, my goodness, there's all these different things for this one oil. It gets overwhelming, right? And all of a sudden their head starts spinning. So think back to your first class. And that's where our people are walking away. They're excited, they're buying in, but they've got a lot going on in their mind. So that's where this membership overview, the wish list appointment, the wellness consult, call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter. The follow-up meeting, that is so important. So important, you guys. And then also we're going to talk, the most of the day today or tonight, we're going to talk about that the follow-up appointment, but we also are going to touch on product knowledge and how we really need to get our clients, our customers to understand these oils, okay? Understand them at a deep level and understand what we have to offer, because they're never going to buy something if they don't know we have it. In fact, I was talking just the other day to a friend of mine who's enrolled under somebody else. She's not on my team. We actually met after she was enrolled in doTERRA. And I was using, I think she was over at my house, and I think I took out, I don't know if it was my laundry detergent that was on guard or my kitchen cleaner or something. And she's like, oh, where did you get that from? Like, what are you talking about? Like, do you not know about these products? You know, she really just thought that it was an oil company, and she had her membership actually longer than I did. So product knowledge is the key. You have to tell your people. They will not go and find this information on their own. And then lastly, you need to support them by having multiple support pages, groups, and just being really active in it. And I'm going to give you some tips on that later. But this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time, is this follow-up appointment. Call it whatever you want. We kind of got trained calling it the membership overview, which is kind of a silly term, because if you say that to people, they're like, what kind of appointment? And it doesn't make much sense to them. So we like to, now we've kind of transformed it into your wish list appointment because it sounds exciting, or a wellness consult because that sounds like they're getting something out of it, a little bit more professional, whatever you want. But this is where your LRP begins. This is it. This appointment, you need to treat this like it's just as important or even more important than the initial sign-up appointment. Okay, don't overlook this. If you would drive an hour to go teach a class, drive an hour to go do the follow-up appointment. For real. Because this appointment is where you start developing that relationship. And we know that this is a relationship-based business. People buy from people they trust. You need to build their trust. You need to build that partnership, that relationship. This is their first glimpse of the support they're going to get from you and your team. You want to make a good first impression. So treat this appointment just as you would with the initial class, okay? It's that important. And you want to schedule this the day they enroll, because that's the next thing that people say is, oh, but I just can't get people to commit to this class or to this appointment. Well, you have to do it the day they enroll, because when they are at your class, their excitement level, their commitment level, everything is at a high. And that's where you need to capture it. Don't let them go home and say, oh, well, we'll book it when your oils come in. That appointment will never get booked, or it'll be really hard to get it booked. You need to book it that day. They just spent $275 or $550, or hey, if you did the every oil kit, a lot more. Whatever they just spent, it was a good investment. And they're ready to listen. They're ready to, they're committed. They're going to invest their time in learning more about what they just bought. So get this scheduled the day they enroll. Okay? If you'd go home with nothing else, go home with that. Okay, and then the next thing is it can be done in person or over Zoom. I've been very successful at doing these over Zoom using this platform, and it has worked. Of course, it's always better to do it in person, but sometimes it's just not, it just doesn't work. And if that's the case, then don't give up on it. Just say, no problem, we can just do it over a video chat. It's super easy. But you want to try to make that contact with them rather than just doing it on the phone. I have found that it's way more successful, and I'm going to show you why as we get into exactly what I do. But doing it either in person or over Zoom is a lot, is usually gives us the best success rate of getting them on LRP. Okay, next is be prepared. So when you go to teach a class, most of the time, you're driving to class and you're kind of rehearsing your script in your mind. You're maybe practicing your closing, before you leave to your stuffed animals or your kids or whoever, but you prepare, right? You plan ahead. You think about your audience. Okay, I'm going to go to a bunch of athletes. So you're thinking about all your stories or your testimonies that are going to relate to athletics. You plan. Same goes for this appointment. Plan for it. Know your person, know their health goals, know their family members, write them down so you are able to make this personal, because making it personal is going to draw up a lot more emotions, and we know they buy off of emotions, right? So keep it personal. Plan ahead for this. Be prepared. One of the things that we do too to plan for it is my team will give out a couple things at the time of enrollment. And we've kind of experimented with this. And for a while, we tried giving away our little gifts at the appointment to try to get people there. But we've kind of discovered that we don't usually need to coax them into coming if we schedule it the day that they enroll, because they're already excited and committed. So we really didn't feel like it was as beneficial as giving it to them the day that they enroll, okay? And when the day they enroll, what we do is we give them the Essential Life Book, which I'm sure all of you know. And what do we do? I don't give it to every kid, but for the essential, it is late, the Home Essentials Kit, sorry. The Home Essentials Kit on up, it's free. And that is a huge perk, because I have them all over when we're doing classes, and people are looking through them and falling in love with those books. So they want the books. Just a little side note here. And I'm sure that you all have your systems going on too. But they want that book. And when they find out that that's free with that kid, if they're kind of on the border between the Family Essential or the Aroma Touch Diffuse or the Home Essentials, they're almost always going to go to the Home Essentials. In fact, I think maybe in all my 3 years of doing this, I've only enrolled people with the Family Essentials maybe a half a dozen times. But if that is the case, then I just offer them the Essential Life Book for $15. So I just give them a bit of a discount, because the bottom line is you still want to get that in their hands, right? And then I give them this little goodie bag, okay? So I'm going to kind of show you, and I'll go through what's in it. And some of you may do this already. And if you guys have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in at any time, like Steve said. I don't mind being interrupted. But what I have in this bag, we've kind of gone through a few different things, but I just put in some of the samples of the things that are good LRP staples, okay? The PB Assist for juniors. The kids love these, and the parents love that the kids are getting good, healthy probiotics, right, and begging for them. So I usually stick one of those in there. Of course, the shampoo and the conditioner sample. This is incredible. So good to get people on LRP. Seriously, almost my whole team, I think, is using that shampoo. And then of course, the other thing that almost everybody on my team uses is the toothpaste. So I make sure I have a sample of that in the bag. Then I have the throat drop, and I have the respiratory drop. I've got, of course, the Deep Blue Rub that I know sometimes, we do tend to sell a lot of the Natural Solutions kit that has it, but if not, I tell people, oh, just give it to a friend or whatever. They love it. And then lastly, I put in an empty roller bottle. And I tell them, and then my business card, and I tell them, oh, now bring this with you, bring that roller bottle with you at our next appointment, because we'll make a custom roller blend with your oils. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you build excitement once again for that appointment. So in their mind, they're committed. They want to learn. They want to make that cool roller bottle blend. So,
Michelle,
yes.
I'm going to chime in or interrupt real quick. Okay, so the goodie bag you give out at the class when they have enrolled, everything signed, sealed, and delivered, and it's like, boom, here it is.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I send this home with them along with their Essential Life Book.
Okay, makes sense. I Actually, Debbie chatted in and said, I like the idea behind giving them an empty bottle and to bring it to the follow-up appointment to make a special blend.
Yes. It works great because it, once again, just creates, it gives them another purpose for coming. So, and they're excited about it. And then I'll tell them, start thinking about what blend you want to make in that bottle.
And that, really quick, tell us a little bit about what custom blend you help them make at that follow-up appointment.
Well, I talk a lot about roller blends during my classes. And in fact, I'll even show them how to make one during class. And then I'll sometimes give that away for a prize. So, and we've been actually starting some of our classes, having everybody make one just so that they can see how easy oils are. Because sometimes they come in with this mind block that, oh, I don't know how to do oils. So we found that if you take 5 minutes in the beginning of class, have everything set up, labeled, ready to go, and this could be like a whole nother presentation because it was super effective. But that actually has been working really well to get people excited. Then they want more. So I'll just tell them, well, we can make one of the blends that you didn't make at class, because I usually have about 6 of them out for them to choose from. Or like as we're talking about lemon, lavender, and peppermint during class, I always start with lemon, then I go to lavender, then I go to peppermint, and then I say, hey, this trio actually is called the allergy bomb. And here's what you can do with it, and I show them how you do it in a capsule, and then I show them how you can do it in a roller blend. So we just talk about some things as we go through class, so that way they're already getting ideas.
Very cool. Okay, thanks, Michelle. Anybody else have any questions or want to chime in before Michelle moves on? Okay, keep going, Michelle.
Okay, you got it. Okay, then next, this is big. Call 2 to 3 days before the appointment, because everybody gets busy and everybody forgets. But please remember the call part. Use that little green app that has a telephone on your phone. Don't text them or message them. Call them. You want to, once again, foster this relationship. Start building that trust and commitment to their health. Call them. Be like, hey, I know doTERRA ships fast and it's been a couple days, so I'm guessing you got your oils. Did they come today? Be excited about it because they're excited. Okay, then if they did get them, great. Well, I'm so excited to meet with you on Friday. Now when we meet, make sure, I tell them what to bring. Make sure you bring your roller bottle. And then I tell them other things to bring that I'm going to get into in a little bit here. And then I ask them, have you had a chance to look through your Essential Life book? Oh, you have? Awesome. Well, what are some of the great things that you have found in there that have interested you? Are there any new things that you want help with, or some new health challenges that came up that we want to discuss? And if they say yes, I say, awesome. Make sure you write all that stuff down. Write it down and come prepared so I can answer all your questions and get you what you need to get started. And they really like that and appreciate that. And if they say, nah, I've been a little busy, I'm like, oh, no problem. I totally get that. But hey, tonight before bed, if you want to take a couple seconds, flip through it. And then sometimes I'll even tell them like some of the big, like if the flu is going around, like, oh, check out this page because this has got some great remedies that you're going to want to use as soon as you get your oils. Or read about, men's health. I know your husband is dealing with some things. Read this section because this talks a lot about what he's dealing with. So sometimes I also will make it personal and give them a reason to open up that book and flip through to a certain page, okay? But you want to get their mind going at it. And then next, and this is big, I ask them if they've used this stuff. And the reason why I did that is because I want them to use it before they come to the appointment, right? Because I want them to fall in love with it, and I want them to be like, oh, yes, I absolutely need that tube of toothpaste, and I need that shampoo. Whatever it is, I need that. You want to create that need. And if they say, oh, I didn't get a chance to, I forgot about that, no problem. We've got 2 days yet. Tonight when you go brush your teeth, use that, and then text me right away. And if I don't hear text from you, I'm going to text you in the morning and remind you to use it in the morning. Okay, be that person, because most people will laugh about it, and they don't care. They love it because we're all busy. We're all busy. So remind them and just help them, okay? And then next, I give them a list of things to bring. I say, okay, now remember when we meet, And if we're meeting at their house, it's easy. But a lot of times we'll meet at Starbucks, or the last one I did, it was a teacher, and she's like, actually, my classroom is a lot quieter than my house. Do you just want to come to my classroom after school? So we just did that. I'm like, no problem. Just make sure you bring the doTERRA Essentials, this really beautiful book that we get with the kits now. So make sure you bring that, and then make sure you have the stickers yet inside of it, because I've had one person rip those out. But I'm like, keep those stickers inside. We're going to need those stickers, and we're going to need that book with what we're going to talk about at that appointment. That's all they have, and their oils, of course, and bring your oils. And then I bring with me this is super simple. I bring a piece of loose leaf paper with their name on the top, their ID, and their password, and they're keeping this piece of paper, okay? And then I bring these teeny tiny little flag Post-it notes. And that's what I bring. It's so simple. And I have I've got a builder on my team who's super techie, and she's awesome. I haven't quite embraced this yet, but she brings her laptop, and you know what, instead of a sheet of paper, she's got a Google Docs set up for them that she shares. Awesome, because that's her love language. It's not mine. I do better with pencil and paper. You do you, and whatever works for you, but the point is you just need something that you can be jotting things down with, okay? All right, next, first thing when you get there, we're going to have them get their oils out and get their diffuser going. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to somebody's house and their diffuser is still in the box. Have you done this? Anybody? Like, you guys, this is like the best part of what you bought. Get it out. Let's get it going. Seriously. So I showed them how to do it. And it sounds simple. It sounds like it would be so easy just to figure it out. But some people are just hesitant. They spent all this money. And they're like, they don't want to break it. They don't want to do it wrong. So they just don't do it. Make sure they're doing it. Walk them through it. Here, just fill this up. Get it going. Get peppermint and lemon in there. Something going on to get it going. They're going to fall in love with that immediately. So get their diffuser going at that appointment. Okay, next, you're going to go over each oil that they ordered. And it doesn't have to be a lot. We're not doing a whole nother class. You're going to really just do about a one-sentence reminder about what they need to use that oil for, or what they could use it for. It's fast. We're going to whip through this in about 5 minutes or less, okay? But while you're talking about the oil, what I do is I have them get their stickers out, and I have them put the sticker on the cap of the oils, because otherwise they don't know what that sticker was even for. And they get excited to do that, because now they're creating ownership over these oils, right? So now they're becoming attached to them. They're stickering them up. And then the next thing I have them do is break the seal and smell it and apply it. Use it if they need to. But the reason why I do that too is because some of my customers were like hoarding their oils. Like, oh, as soon as you break the seal, they're not new anymore. And I don't know if I want to, if I take that newness away, they're afraid to use them. What? Don't be afraid to open them. They're yours. You have to use them. So if you make them break the seal right when you're there, they're going to continue to use them and open them and enjoy them. So that is one thing that I always do with them. And then next thing, really quickly, we just go over their health goals. And that's where I get my piece of paper out and I start writing down. I'm like, okay, so at class you said your husband is struggling with sleep. So remember what oils we just talked about, what would you give him? And I get them engaged. And I kind of I don't want to say quiz them, but I help them lead the discussion. Oh, yeah, you said lavender. Absolutely. So I'm going to write lavender down here. What I tell people, because a lot of times they get confused and overwhelmed, I said, don't get overwhelmed. We're going to pick 3 health goals. And only 3. And these 3 things for this week or this month, however long they want to think, you're going to have these go-to oils. Just focus on these 3 things. And it's okay if we don't use all these oils right away. Let's start with these 3 health goals and get you in this routine. And once you've got these down in their routine, then we can have a follow-up appointment again, and I'll get you going on a couple more. Break it down for them, because then they will use them. If they leave with a big long sheet, they're going to feel overwhelmed and they're going to be forgetful. 3 things, okay? 1, 2, 3. And have them help you discuss it. Okay, your son has a lot of digestive issues. So what was a choice that we could use for that? Oh, yes, and then you write it down. Digestion, great. Make them a plan. But the next thing is, so let's say go back for that sleep, for example. You also want to remind them, though, that you know, what you taught in class, that all of our bodies are really unique and different. And even though lavender is the most common oil used for sleep issues, it's not the answer for everybody. So see how his body reacts. And if his body is not reacting well to it, or he doesn't like going to bed smelling like a flower, there are other choices that work just as well, if not better. And I'm going to write some of those down for you. My family loves vetiver. My personal favorite, petitgrain. In fact, they call petitgrain the man's lavender. And, you know, start writing this down, because then all of a sudden they went from thinking, I got 10 oils, I'm ready to go, to feeling like, oh, there's a lot more oils out there. I've got to keep going on my collection, which then is creating that desire to get that LRP up and going, right? So get all of those things listed down, give them some extra ideas as they're going. Then we go through this book, okay? Take a couple minutes to show them this. And what I like to do is I flip through it. And I'll go through, you know, like I'll take out this page. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I'll go through the pages that we have marked. Okay, petitgrain was on our list. So let's look at petitgrain in here. It's all alphabetically ordered. So I'm going to find it in here. Okay, here it is. So we're going to read a little bit, you know, you can read a little bit more about it. And then I take my Post-it note and I put a flag there, because this is on your wish list. This is on your little plan. So we're going to take this, we're going to flag all the ones that we talked about so that they know later where to go find them in here when they're ready to order, or if they want a little bit more about it. After we've done that, then I go through and say, okay, I'm going to just show you a couple more really cool things about this book, because you're here today because I know you are committed to an overall wellness lifestyle. And oils are a huge part of that, but they're just a part. And the cool thing is that doTERRA is actually a whole wellness company, and you can get a whole lot more than oils from them. So let me show you some of my family's favorite things that we get from doTERRA that keeps us healthy and safe from toxins. And I'll open it up to this page. This is a beautiful page. All the On Guard products. And then I can go through and I can tell them about all this stuff. Do you buy laundry detergent every month? Oh, you do. Well, you can add this to your LRP. You know what? Do you buy kitchen cleaner? Well, here, you can use this. And it'll take the place of pretty much all those toxic cleaners in your cupboard. So you kind of just go through it. The hands up, tell them about what's all out there. Tell them about the skincare. Thank you, Rodan and Fields, for making skincare like the top of everybody's wish list lately, right? But our products work just as well, I think better. And they're a fraction of the cost. So people are super excited about our skincare line. Promote it. They don't know it's there unless you open this book, show them, talk about it, give them your personal testimony if you've got one, okay? Same with the shampoo. Did you try that shampoo? What did you think of it? Yeah, I know you want it, don't you? Okay, well, we'll make sure we flag that and add that to your LRP order. Okay, so I'm constantly going through and talking about all of the things. And of course, the supplements. I mean, that goes without saying. The supplements are huge. So we want to make sure that we talk a lot about that. But that's basically it. That is what I do with this book. So is there any questions about what I do with this book? Just basically take my Post-it note, flag what we've talked about, flag the things that my family uses regularly, basically focusing on the consumable products. Because we all love our oils, but we all know that we really don't need $100 worth of oils every single month. I mean, the most families don't. But we all use soap and toothpaste and everything else. And that's where you get people on LRP. So you really have to focus on the products. Okay, then I have them log on either their phone or, and if we're at Starbucks or something, we'll just do it on their phone. If not, I prefer to do it right on their computer. Sometimes I'll bring my laptop computer to do it, but we log on because I tell them, okay, I'm just gonna quick show you how to use your account, because it's super simple, but it's always easier and faster if I just show you how to do it rather than you having to guess. So we're gonna go on, we're gonna log into their page together. And then what happens? It says, welcome, do you want to place an LRP order or a one-time order, right? They give you that question. So then I look at my customer and I say, oh, you know what? We have one more decision to make today. But don't worry, this is a really easy one. So if you remember back in class, we talked a little bit about the 3 ways to buy oils. You can buy them retail, the only time you're going to really do that is if you're buying them from a doctor or a spa or something like that. We don't buy retail. You can buy them at wholesale, which is what you did when you bought your kit. Or if you recall, I also mentioned that there's another option where you can buy them below retail. And that's this program called the LRP. So really, this is an awesome program that you're going to want to learn a little bit more about. Please remember, when you are giving them this information, you're not selling them anything. You are educating them. You are all on LRP, right? And you're all going to be on it whether you are getting a paycheck from doTERRA or not. You're on it because you know that it is the smartest way to buy oils. So this is the part that drove me crazy with my team or with other teams where I talked to them, like, they're afraid to tell people about this item. Just like, well, they just spent $275 on a kit, so I really didn't want to, try to force them into committing anything more. I'm like, you're not forcing them to do anything. You're telling them, you're teaching them about the smartest way to buy oils. Okay? So change that mindset that you are educating them. Okay? You tell them that you are on LRP because you love getting 12 free oils every single year. 12 free oils. And just for the same reason you're a member of Amazon Prime, you're a member of the LRP because you don't like paying for shipping and you want to get all your shipping points back. People hate paying for shipping. That's a big thing. So make sure you tell them that, okay? Then after that, you can also explain the benefits about the 10 to 30% back that you're getting. And assure them that they can cancel at any time. Remember, people will not make a decision unless they know two things. What's in it for me? And can I do it? So you need to start by telling them what's in it for them. You're getting your oils at below wholesale. You're going to be getting 12 free oils every year. You're going to get all of your shipping points back. That's what's in it for you. Then they need to know, can I do this? Okay, so you want to make sure that they understand that they can change it at any time. They're not stuck with the same order. They can cancel it at any time. It's just a simple phone call. Okay, go through that with them so they understand it. Then you are not done. This is where some people are like, okay, I did my job, and they walk away. You are not done. Ask them. So, should we set up your LRP today? Ask them. Most of them are going to be like, yeah, because if you sold it and you told them all this stuff, they're in it. But of course, you're always going to get those people, like I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not committing to this. And that's okay. It's okay. If they say yes, you're going to set it up. If they say no, you're going to set it up. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm serious. If they say no, or if they say, nah, I'm not really interested in that at this time, say, oh, no problem. I totally understand. In fact, I didn't set mine up right away either. I put a couple orders in, standard one-time orders before I got smart enough to do this. However, I did change my mind. And I have a feeling you might change your mind later on down the road. So just in case you do, how about we go through it right now, and I'll just do a practice run and show you how to do it, but I won't save it. Does that sound cool? They all say yes. Yeah, that's fine. They're not going to say no, right? So then I do it anyways, and I go through and I set up their date and I explain how that all works. Then I go through their shopping cart and I show them how to maneuver around it. I make sure I hit the accessories, and I make sure that I put the veggie caps and the fractionated coconut oil in their cart right away. And then I'll go through and I'll just hit some of their things that we talked about that are on their wish list. And I put them in their cart. I do their shopping for them to show them how it works. Of course, I tell them a little bit about the healing hands, get that button checked, and then make sure that if they said, yes, I want to do it, we save it and we're done. If they were one of them that said, no, I don't want to do this, then I leave it up and I say, okay, well, I'm done here, but I'm just going to leave this up in case you want to play around with it a little bit more and snoop around and get familiar with it. When you're done, you can go ahead and hit this button right here and it'll delete it all. So don't worry. I'm not, you're not committed to this. But if you change your mind and you want to, then go ahead and just hit save and you'll be all set. And guess what? When I go home, I check my trees, and I would say about, I don't know. I'd say 9 out of 10 of them, if not more. I mean, almost all of them end up saving it anyways. Very few of them won't save it. So even though they said no, they usually do anyways. And don't feel like you're tricking them, because you're really not. You're just telling them. And people are kind of nervous and they're kind of skeptical of things and overwhelmed. So just go through it and show them what you would do. And then they have the option at the end. Any questions on that?
Michelle, I love that. What a great, brilliant way to like, oh my gosh. And then Janice chatted in and she said that she liked the analogy of comparing LRP to Amazon Prime, and everybody wants free shipping. And she said that will speak to some people for sure.
It does.
Have also heard to set up the LRP anyway, regardless of if they want it or not, just to show them how to do it, if nothing else.
Yes.
And yeah, and she also likes leaving the LRP open for them to think about. That's brilliant.
Yes, it's good. And like I said, most people walk away with it open. And the cool thing about all this, you guys, is that you do this with your builders. Your builders do it to their new people, their new enrollments. It is so duplicatable. Like seriously, it just flows. And I mean, we had a new builder start and I was looking at her tree. Like she had enrolled 12 people and all 12 people were over 100 PV. I mean, her tree was absolutely beautiful. They were all little purple circles. I'm like, yes, look at you go. You know, and she wasn't mine, but it was, you know, one of my builders was able to get her trained that all of her new people she had on. So, I mean, it works. It really, really works. And the biggest thing is take out the thought that you're trying to sell it, because you're not. They already bought the oils. You're just telling them, you're just educating them on the smartest way to buy them. That's it. Okay. All right. Next, after they're on LRP, that's the easy part, getting them on. Seriously. Now we've got to keep them on, which is huge for continuing education. Classes. So most of my team's classes are on continuing education. We do a lot of our enrollments on one-on-ones. That's just kind of how our team has gone. Not that it's the right way, but we end up trying to save our classes for our customers. And if you have time to do a lot of classes, I mean, for a while there, I was doing an intro class and a continuing education class every week. I was doing 2 a week. And that worked great because then they had the options for both. But seriously, I tell my people, continuing education is just as important than the intro classes, if not more. These are your people. Don't treat them like a one-night stand. Get them to come back and keep learning with you, because then their wish list is going to continue to grow. And that's what you need. So in the beginning of the month, I'll put out an announcement and I tell people what my classes are. Okay, this month we've got classes on hormones, we've got classes on immunity, we've got classes on stress, we've got classes on the products. Always have a products class every month because people need to hear about the products. But seriously, have a list of ongoing classes for your customers, your current customers. Give them that love. And you end up getting like the same little group that comes all the time. And then they'll bring new friends and it really works awesome.
So Michelle, where do you like to do your classes? Are these make and take classes that you're doing in person?
No, I hardly ever do make and takes. I know some people do and are super successful at them. We literally just gather around my kitchen table and pass oils around, talk, they ask questions, they bring their list of questions on the topic, and we just go through. They're super casual, but people like that. They don't have to be formal. They don't have to be me standing up and, you know, in front of a big group. We've done that. And there are times when we've done that. Like when I travel back to Wisconsin, a lot of times we'll do that is we'll rent a place and we'll pack in, 20, 30, 50 people in a room and we'll do, some big classes, and that works too. But they can be whatever you're comfortable with. And this next thing is probably what I do the most of, and that's webinars. Webinars is how I started my business. As a matter of fact, for my first 2 years in the business, I never taught one class. I did all of my enrollments on all of my classes through Zoom or through Skype. because I think when I started, Zoom wasn't a thing. So I would have leaders in Wisconsin and I was in California, or I would have friends, I should say. They weren't leaders at that time. And they would Skype me into their home and they'd put me up on their big TV and they'd have people in the living room. And seriously, I built almost my whole business just through technology. So that's been my big part. So I go with that. I love teaching classes, but webinars are easy. I can do them at my time, my schedule. And if you're not sure how to do them, feel free to ask and I'll, absolutely give you whatever tips I have on them. But webinars are huge. They're easy. People love them. I love it when people are like lying in bed in their jammies or like snuggling up with their kiddos and listening to me and their kids are waving. I'm like, it's super personal. And it's making it really accessible for their busy lives because then they can be a part of it. Does that make sense?
So Michelle, that sounds great. Do you make your own presentations? This is a question from Debbie. Do you make your own presentations or do you use some doTERRA resources or anybody else's resources?
I usually make my own. I think maybe only once or twice I've used doTERRA's. And it's only because, and it's not that they're not good, it's just because I think I started doing it before they started having a lot of them available. So I kind of just have my own and I just continue tweaking them to what we need. And seriously, if you take the time, make it a commitment to make, like maybe one PowerPoint a week or something for a couple months. And all of a sudden you have a huge collection and you share it with your team. Or if you've got some good technology people on your team, share the job with them. Say, hey, I'm going to create this webinar, you create this webinar, and then you all put it on your team page and share. And all of a sudden you have all these cool topics that you can pull from at any time.
How much do you coordinate with other people in your team to like where you're delegating the continuing education webinars to other people, or you're giving people multiple webinar options that they can come to in any given week? Like so-and-so's hosting this and I'm hosting this and come to whatever you want.
So most of it, so I've got 2 pretty active silver leaders. However, one of them is still working full-time and is a really busy mama too. So she just doesn't have the time to do this. And I understand and respect that. My other silver, she is super active. She actually just quit her job. Her doTERRA check was able to take that away and she's really pushing hard for gold. So we're excited for that. So she's a great resource and she'll share and do it as well. However, it's just something that I've always done and I don't mind helping my team this way. So I end up doing the majority of them because I have the time. I do this full time. Now my husband, he retired now and he's doing it full time with me. So I have the time and I like to give that back to my team and help them in this way since they are my team is all over. So it just is an easy way for me to support them. Awesome. I do have all of the webinars that I do though up on our team page and I encourage them to take it and do their own private groups. And I do encourage that because I tell them, I'm like, of course, send your people to me. Of course, do that. However, your people love hearing from you. That's huge. You are the person that they've connected with. So even if you can just get out and do, 1 class a month, they love hearing from you. Any other questions? Thank you for reading the chat because if I put it down, then I kind of lose this page.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, I'm going to ask some questions because, I'm also a builder and so I experience a lot of different things myself. So recently, we had a neighbor call us up and say, hey, somebody was telling me that I need on guard for something. I've got a sick kiddo. Can you help me out? And so my wife went down the street with a family essentials kit. And she, instead of selling her a bottle of on guard, she's like, you know what? You just need this kit. Mm-hmm. And so she bought the kit. And then we, of course, when she enrolled, the new one was shipped to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but this particular customer, because it was so it was kind of a transactional enrollment. Like we had the hardest time and they lived 3 doors down from us. We have the hardest.
Those are the hardest people to get in touch with, right?
Yeah. And so I just recently committed myself to doing all wellness, to do as many wellness consults as it makes sense for me to do. Like basically like it would be the pattern for me to do 90% of them. And so anyway, I'm like looking for a suggestion, like this, how do I approach these people as the husband and say, hey, you know, like you guys never got a wellness consult and I'd love to come over and help you with that. But what would you do? How would you approach that?
Well, I would probably kind of do exactly what you said. I'd call them and, you know, call and say, hey, you know, how's your son? Did it work? I'm glad he's doing better. Say, you know, we enrolled you in such a hurry because we really needed to get these in your hands, but we missed a really important part of the support that we offer on our team, and that's the wellness consult. And I'd love to offer this to you so you're not shortchanged. So I've got tomorrow open at this time, and I've got Thursday open at this time. Which time works better for you?
Oh, that's a great way to say it. Like instead of saying, you know, can I do this with you? It's just like, here, this is when I'm available. Which one works? I love that.
Yeah, and I would just and make it be like, hey, it's my fault you missed out. We did this so fast, and I don't want you to be shortchanged. And I want to show you how you can make roller bottles with all of those oils you bought, because that's really going to make them go further, and it's going to be so easy when you're applying them to your kids. So I need to come over and show you how to do that. So what day works best? But always make it a need. Turn it into something that they need. It's not about you, it's about them. And then they have a hard time saying no.
Awesome. Okay, does anybody else have a question that they'd like to ask? If you do, just chat in and then I'll unmute you. If not, I can come up with a lot of good questions.
Well, let me finish this page, and then if you think of more, let me know. So webinars is huge, like I said. Then the next thing are random text messages. So seriously, I have a notebook, and I'll just, like, every day try to send out one text message. And I do this, not Facebook message. I really try to do a text message because it feels like it's a little bit more personal. And I'll just say, hey, Nikki, I was thinking about you today. I know how much you love peppermint, and I found this new use for it. Did you ever try adding a drop in the corner of your shower, maybe with lemon or wild orange? Oh my gosh, it's such a great way to wake up in the morning. You know, just adding those little things like that, and they're going to love that because you catch them off guard. You say, hey, I was just thinking of you. They love that. They're flattered. And you're giving them another use, right? And then the other thing is you watch and read their Facebook posts. Big time. Stalk your customers, especially your new ones, because they don't know how to use these oils and they forget what they're doing. And remember, their retention rate it's about 10%. So even though you think you already told them that, they're going to forget. And you're going to have to tell them again and again and again. And it's okay because we needed to be told a couple times too. And we were passionate about it, so we went and did a lot of our research ourselves. But they don't have time to. So if you see one of your new customers post that, you know, little Johnny's got a fever and she's so frustrated, then you need to call her or you need to message her. And don't do it on the thread and make her look silly, or, you know, I mean, you can say, oh, don't forget about your oils, but usually I'll just message him privately and say, hey, I'm so sorry he's not feeling well. You know, if the fever gets uncomfortable for him, though, remember you have your peppermint oil. It's right there at your fingertips. Just put a little bit with some fractionated coconut oil, you know, in your hand, give him a little back massage, get that, you know, massaged into the spine, and his fever should go down. People forget. It's not that they don't want to use them, they just forget. One of my customers, she just posted that she got kicked in the face from her horse, and she posted this nasty bruise. You know, so I'm like, girl, do you got helichrysum? You know, I messaged her right away, and she's like, oh, I don't know if I have that one. She's like, yeah, I do. She's like, what else do I need? And she was so excited and so grateful that I jumped in, because she's like, I'm numb. I can't feel anything. What do I need? So what did I do? I got going on it. I like gave her a regimen, told her what to put in her roller bottle. She added 2 oils to her wish list that she didn't have. She wants to have on hand for next time. She's good. But watch, be engaged in their lives, because that tells a lot. All right, and then your own private Facebook groups. I'm assuming you all either run one or are a part of one. But don't let that just be. You have to be active in it. Like my group, my builder group, I should say my builders for our customer page, we all, like, I should say we have like a theme of the day. So Mix It Monday, Testimony Tuesday, we use Wednesday. You know, we have a little bit of a theme, and then we just make sure that we're constantly doing posts on that day. So they're getting all of the builders information. And then all of a sudden that your customers are like, oh, I made a good roller bottle. I want to share it. Or I used this today and it worked great. And all of a sudden you're getting this huge interaction going on in your Facebook group. But it only will happen if you and your builders are active. Okay? Active meaning of a post every single day. 2 to 5 posts is ideal. So make sure you're not just letting them go. And you can always schedule those posts ahead of time. Just make sure if you do that, you are making an effort to go back and check for the comments and that you respond to the comments, because people need to be heard. And one other thing about Facebook, my brother actually worked for Facebook for quite a few years in New York. And his job was to help businesses succeed in Facebook ads and campaigns. So he gave me some great tips, but one of the things that I use the most is Facebook will only show your post to about 20 people, or 20% of the people either on the page or of your friends. Okay? But if there's a lot of engagement going on, then the algorithms will recognize that, and they'll maybe blast it out to another 20%. And then another 20%. You kind of have to earn it for Facebook to recognize that it's a good post and that a lot of people need to see it. So how you do that is promoting engagement. So if you post something about Melaleuca, this is, your oil of the day, you talk a little bit about it, end with a question. What's your favorite use for Melaleuca? Whatever the question is, just end with something to create engagement so people start writing things. And then, even though this sounds crazy, instead of just hitting the like button for those comments, comment. After every one of those posts or every one of their comments, you comment back, because that counts as a comment. And it counts to get that page visible for more and more people to create more engagement. Do you get that? But that's going to really promote interaction. And then last but not least, don't be afraid to go live. Remember, it's a relationship building business. People want to see you. They want to hear you. It's okay if you don't have makeup on. It's okay if it's first thing in the morning and your house is a mess. They don't care. They would prefer to see you real life person and keeping things real than to be all fake and phony anyways. So don't be afraid to let people into your life a little bit and share what's real and what's going on. And then my last slide is just the basic of all of this to get people on LRP, to keep people on LRP, and to keep their orders up, is just to keep loving on your people. Don't forget them. They trusted you, and they invested in you and your business. So please make sure that you are returning that investment and take it seriously as you invest back into them, their friendship, their health, their business. And that does it. Does anybody else have any questions?
Wow, right on time, Michelle. Right on time. Seriously, if anybody has any special circumstance that you kind of want some quick advice on, we're happy to hear it. Otherwise, we'll let Michelle go to bed. It's 11 p.m. Eastern time.
It's all good.
Okay, I'm not getting anything in the chat boxes, but if you want to unmute yourself real quick and chime in, you are more than welcome to.
Great job, Michelle.
Hey, I recognize that voice. Lisa. I don't see her picture, but she's one of my
just hopped on.
builders is on here, so she can probably answer some questions too.
I'm actually headed off to bed, but you did a good job.
Thanks, dear.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, one of them says, can you share the title of your Facebook days? So we do, and we kind of change them because sometimes they get boring, but for now we're doing Mix It Monday, and then we do Testimony Tuesday, we use Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, because I really try to promote the trim shakes or using the oils and things in a drink or something to, create more uses for them. And then Friday we have Fun Fact Friday. So I have actually a chemistry professor as one of my builders. How blessed am I? So she is full of fun scientific facts. So she blasts our page on that. So I love it. But it doesn't have to be from a chemistry teacher. It can be literally anything that you know. I mean, even if it's just about the Healing Hands Foundation. I mean, anything that you want to share about doTERRA. It's just kind of fun to do that. Anything else? And Mix It Monday, guys, it doesn't have to be just about roller blends. Like a few Mondays ago, I did PB Assist and oregano. Because let's be real, if we're taking oregano for that sinus infection, you need to make sure you're replenishing that gut health. So use your PB Assist regularly, right? So anything that you need to mix together, use that and be creative and just share. All those ideas go a long way with educating your people. And I'll tell you what, as soon as you do like a blast on an oil, like we did Arbavite, okay, and it was before it was a buy one get one, and we just randomly picked it. We talked a little bit about it, all the uses. Our LRPs went crazy. Everybody had it on their LRPs. They don't buy what they don't know about. So just keep the education going and keep the wellness or the webinars going or your classes going, the schedules. Even if you have low attendance, keep them going and keep scheduling them and talking about them, because what I have found this trend, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I was kind of trying to figure it out, but here's what happens. The months that we kind of give up on it and we don't do a lot, our LRP orders go down. The months when we have a lot scheduled and we're constantly talking about classes, our LRP orders are way higher. Now, this doesn't mean that we always have super high attendance on our webinars. Even if we have low attendance on our webinars, our LRP orders are super high. And I think it's just because they're constantly seeing these posts and people talking about it, or us talking about it, the builders talking about it, and it reminds them, oh yeah, I got to set my order. Oh yeah, I want to try that something new. And it's just a constant reminder that you're there, you're engaged, you're supporting them. Anything else?
That sounds great. This has been tremendous. So for everybody who's still on, I will post this. I will upload this recording to YouTube, and then I will post the recording link for you to reference and go back to, or to share with somebody who you think could really use this information. So wow, special thanks to Michelle. Thank you for being on here and doing this for us. And I am just so excited for all the success you're going to have in South Carolina.
Well, we're excited too. It's a whole different community over here, but so far we're embracing it. We went from, a beautiful neighborhood in Temecula with, no grass in our backyard, but a beautiful pool. We kind of felt like we were living on vacation, to a house in the middle of nowhere. We're getting chickens next week, and we're taking on a whole different lifestyle here, but it's fun. We're always up for a change.
Oh, cool.
So thank you guys. I hope you all have at least something to take away from, and I wish you all lots of success in your businesses.
Thank you, Michelle. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.